Alrighty, hey guys, I have worked with a lot of religious people over the years that I have been helping people quit porn and masturbation. I also am a religious person. I grew up going to church and reading scripture every week, so I know exactly what people are going through when they have high values, high belief systems, and a crippling porn habit that's causing a lot of shame, guilt, remorse, and torment in your heart. So this video is two very effective ways to help you as a religious person, a man of faith, eliminate porn for good. Ready? Let's get started. So let's first address the reason that across the board, people that are attracted to my content and join our program are people of faith. You know, not extreme religious people, but people who have general consciousness of a higher power and general faith practices. Christians, Muslims, Hindus, Mormons, all kinds of religious people that I've worked with, also with agnostic or atheist people. So across the board, the reason that this is so tormenting for people and having a porn habit is so tormenting is because there's a clear discrepancy in your values and your actions. In other words, you're not living with integrity with who you want to be. And this gap and discrepancy between what you want to do with your life and the man that you want to be and the man that you want to live up to and the man that you are today, or the actions you're taking today in regards to your porn and masturbation habit. The gap is so big that it's causing this torment in your heart, and it's causing this discrepancy and lack of value and lack of integrity in your life. And it's because of that tormenting discrepancy between your values and your actions that causes you to feel like shame and guilt and the shame that's associated with your porn habit. So the first thing you should know, guys, is that shame is not helpful. Like, I'll just say that flat out. Shame is a destructive emotion to have as a religious person, or even as just somebody who has a porn habit. Because what follows shame usually, guys, if you know yourself very well, is when you act out, masturbate, watch porn, feel shame, feel guilt, what usually follows is you feel like a piece of garbage. The self-talk starts to say, hey, you're worthless. And what happens after that? What's the easiest way to drown the feeling of shame and guilt? Is more porn, more masturbation. And this is why people tend to spiral out of control and go one day and act out 3-4 times in one day. It's because the fastest way to drown the feeling of shame is because of your porn is more porn. And it's a destructive cycle that has to stop. And this is why having shame is actually a very destructive thing and a very self-centered thing, actually. So I'll give you a light year, super fast hack to eliminate shame, okay? And that is, the only way to eliminate shame is to let it out in the open. The only way to dispel shame is to talk about it with somebody. You feel me? Because shame can only exist in shadows. And the fastest way to eliminate a shadow is to shed light on it. So if you want to stop feeling the shame and guilt of your porn habit, you've got to tell somebody about it. You've got to tell anybody about it. And that's the fastest way that you can start to feel recovery. All right? So you can let me know. This is why I'm always available for guys. You can go to our website and you can send me an email and you can contact me and I'll just respond because I love hearing from people who are like me. You can let me know in the comments and just let me know that you're struggling with this. You can join our program and we can just have conversations, and then you can realize that you're not alone. You're not the only one. And even though you've made mistakes, you're still worthy of love and grace and acceptance and forgiveness, because that's who you are. So that's the first thing you can do to eliminate shame and, in effect, eliminate the porn habit, because shame is actually causing you more porn, if you haven't realized, is that you can tell somebody about it. Tell the right person about it. And so in my own experience, I was a very church-goey, religious man, faith, prayerful, doing scripture work, and all that kind of stuff. And I had brought this porn habit way too far into my life, into my marriage, even after having our first kid, our first son. And it tormented me. Like, you can imagine how much I value being a man of faith, how much I value being a good husband, a good father, and all of that. And I always thought, I believed with all my heart that once I was married, once I had a kid, everything would be resolved and I wouldn't need porn anymore, right? Until I realized that I was tricking myself and I was fooling myself, because as long as I never addressed the reason that I had the porn habit, or the root cause of my porn habit, which was my crippling anxiety and stress that I talk a lot about on this channel, unless I addressed that, then I would always have porn in my life. And it didn't matter what external factors in my life changed. It didn't matter where I moved to. It didn't matter if I got married, had a kid, whatever. Because the habit itself never changed, because the root cause, the reason that I kept the habit with me, never changed. I never learned how to address my stress and anxiety. So what did I do? I stopped feeling like a shameful piece of garbage, and I told a good friend of mine, and I said, hey, I know this is weird and out of this world, but I have this porn thing, and I just need to tell someone, and I know that you're someone that I can trust and I rely on, and I know that you won't judge me and you will accept me, and I'll feel love and appreciation and acceptance from you. And he was my accountability partner, and that was it. That was the thing I needed to do, and I just needed to shed light on it. So that's the first step I would tell you guys. If you have anybody in your life that you can talk with about your porn habit, do it. And if you don't, then tell me. Join our program, or don't, and just send me an email. I don't know, but I promise you that it will be the fastest thing and the best decision that you ever make for your own habit, is to just shed light on this, so you can stop living in the cloud of hypocrisy and shame and shadows that you are today. Okay, so the second step I want to tell you guys about how to quit porn as a religious and faithful person is to address this gap between who you want to be and who you are today, right? And I mentioned at the beginning of this video that that's the fundamental reason that religious people are very much tormented by porn addiction, is because it's for most people who have faith, it's not who you want to be. It's not your ideal person of what a man should be like, you know? So that discrepancy is really painful, which causes people to watch videos like this, and it causes people to want to take action and to change. So what I've noticed over the years is that when people join our program and I start working with them, when they get more clear about their values and their dream and their vision for their life, the more that gap becomes, to a point where it kind of hits a breaking point, and then the discrepancy is so painful that it requires you to change, if that makes sense. It's like when you have such a high ideal and high vision for yourself, and direction for you go, and goals and dream, and it's crystal clear to you, the thought of even acting out or watching porn is like not even an option. It's like, I've got so much riding on this vision that I have of the man that I want to be and the things I want to do, that the idea of watching porn and keeping that bad habit in my life is really painful, and it's not conducive to the man that you want to be and the things you want to do. So you just don't do it, because the thought of it is like, that's not an option. Like, and that's how you get to the place in your life where the thought of acting out and watching porn and masturbating is just like that's not an option. Like, that's not an effing option in your mind. So anytime you have a fantasy or a thought, or you see something trigger you online, your first thought is like, okay, let me engage in that. Your first thought is, that's not an option. Like, I've got too much riding on my success with PMO, and because I have all these things going on that I'm looking forward to, my marriage, my career, my business, my children, my faith, my relationship with God or anybody, that it requires you to change. So what I tell guys is, don't lower your values. Like, that's what people tend to think to do, or sometimes people advise like, oh, just stop being a religious person and just be okay with porn and masturbation being normal. I actually argue the opposite. I tell guys that you should raise your standards so high, raise your beliefs so high, that it forces you to change, that the discrepancy is even more painful, that it forces you to reduce even the desire to act out and watch porn. And if you do both of these two things simultaneously as a religious person, I found it very effective. Is you tell somebody about it, let go of the shame, stop feeling shameful about it, because shame is not serving anyone. And then number two, raise your standard for who you want to be. In other words, make your vision very, very clear, like crystal clear, like get really, really focused and intensely focused on that. And on top of that, there's also very kind of more nuanced behavioral things that you should really do in your daily day-to-day action, like the 4 R's that I talk about on this channel. The 4 R's are your daily habits that you do every single day to guarantee that you will see success in your porn recovery journey. That's a different video. But if you do all these things together, you will succeed. Like, there's no reason that you can't succeed. And anyway, I just wanted to make this video because as a man of faith, I feel for you guys a lot. I know exactly what you're going through, and this video is totally improvised, no, just off the cuff, thinking about what would be helpful for you guys. And if it is helpful, let me know in the comments, because I probably will make more content just like this for people of faith, because that's really where I'm coming from and where my heart is. And if you want to join our program, check it out at benuyama.com. I guarantee you it's gonna help you. And if it doesn't, I'll give you your money back, because I love you guys. Check out other videos here and like the video and all that good stuff. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.